Fly ball to deep right. It is back. Soto back. Out of here!
The Brewers head to Cincinnati to take on the Reds.
Who's writing this thing?
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:05.
Freaking believable.
On the home of the Brewers, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good morning. 10 o'clock, we have 75 degrees. Flood warning in effect for Waukesha County through tomorrow. Flood watch for Kenosha County till Monday. Sunny and warm today, high of 85. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. We're keeping a close eye on the potential for heavy rain across Wisconsin over the next several days. WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen tells Wisconsin's Morning News the impact of the upcoming rains will depend on the amount received the day before.
It may be that details of location and timing don't really become evident until as little as only around 12 hours in advance.
The complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up in less than 10 minutes. Milwaukee Repertory Theater Executive Director Chad Bauman tells WTMJ's What's on Tap flooding destroyed over 75,000 items at its production facility in Wauwatosa.
We also had equipment from our downtown theater facility as we complete construction there. So as you can imagine, hundreds and thousands of lights, equipment, sound equipment, anything from vintage, irreplaceable props and set pieces from the 1950s all the way up to, tiny little newspaper things that we would use as props as well.
Bellman says a temporary production shop being set up at a different location so upcoming shows this fall and winter can go on as planned. President Trump on his way to Alaska for his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
On Air Force One en route to Anchorage, President Trump told reporters that Russian drone and missile strikes on the eve of the meeting don't strengthen Putin's position.
In his mind, that helps him make a better deal. It actually hurts him.
Trump says land swaps will come up.
They'll be discussed, but I've got to let Ukraine make that decision.
He has said his sole aim is to set the table for a summit that would include Volodymyr Zelensky.
I'm not doing this for my health, okay? I don't need it. I'd like to focus on our country, but I'm doing this to save a lot of lives.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Federal authorities working to remove homeless camps out of Washington, D.C. New York Times says agents from the FBI and Secret Service were out in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood west of the White House Thursday night, removing homeless tents and retreated after a woman showed them a city notice giving her until Monday to leave. Federal agents and National Guard troops are patrolling the city as part of the federal takeover ordered by the Trump administration. New retail sales numbers in from the Commerce Department.
Retail sales were up by 0.5 percentage point in July. This follows a nearly 1% increase in June. Spending had slowed drastically in April and May following President Trump's tariff announcement, but consumers are returning to stores. One exception, electronics. Sales were down by more than 0.5%. The biggest increase in July came in auto sales. They were up by 1.6%. Brian Clark, ABC News.
An etiquette request for the free George Webb burgers. President of the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, Rick Essenberg, is a George Webb restaurant franchise owner. He tells WTMJ's Point Taken what he hopes customers will do on Wednesday's giveaway.
Tip your server based upon what you would have paid, because they have to work just as hard, notwithstanding the fact that you're getting a freebie.
Essenberg owns the George Webb on 76th and Rawson in Franklin. A Milwaukee man just finished a 5,000-mile ride to Alaska to fight pancreatic cancer. Dan Winkleman made the trip for the Sina Magowitz Foundation, which funds research and supports patients. Winkleman sat down with WTMJ's Libby Collins to talk about this event's life-changing connections.
They're able to bring not only the awareness, but the funds to change the outcome for those who are recently diagnosed.
The Power of Us runs from August 15th through the 17th at American Family Field. The Wisconsin State Patrol's annual Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign begins today. The effort includes increased traffic enforcement on Wisconsin highways as troopers watch for signs of impaired driving leading into Labor Day weekend. Nearly half of all Wisconsin traffic fatalities in 2024 involved either drugs or alcohol. Campaign runs through September 1st. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 36 points. The Nasdaq down 87. S&P 500 is down 16 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
paying you to live more comfortably. A deal you do not want to pass up. Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. They will insulate your walls from the exterior. No disruption inside your home. Blow in loose fiberglass in the attic, plus air seal everything. Most homeowners feeling a difference within 24 to 48 hours. And with government rebates, you could save 40 to 60% or more. No work for you to do. USA Insulation will process everything. Visit usainsulation.net. Start saving today.
USA Insulation.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here. Consider joining us Saturdays at 1 o'clock for Experience Wisconsin. I love the show because it really highlights all the great things that are wonderful in our awesome state. Especially during the summer, it's fun. We're going to spin you around the state. This week, we head north. It's the Northwoods and Rhinelander. That's going to be a really fun conversation. And a new dog park comes to downtown Milwaukee. We'll have that discussion with Milwaukee Downtown. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers on the road for a series against the Reds. Milwaukee's won 5 of their first 7 games against Cincinnati this season. Milwaukee enters the game having won 12 straight games, moving them to 76-44, best record in baseball. Packers were on the field for a joint practice session Thursday. Green Bay practiced with the Indianapolis Colts ahead of their preseason matchup on Saturday. Quarterback Jordan Love told reporters he will practice again next week after undergoing a procedure on his left thumb. NBA released its regular season schedule Thursday. The Bucks will open the regular season with the home game against the Wizards October 22nd. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Pretty quiet out there. We do have a disabled vehicle off on the right shoulder, I-41 south, about a quarter of a mile beyond the ramp from Ryan Road. I-41 north at the ramp from County K, left shoulder there blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warning in effect for Waukesha County through Saturday. Flood watch for Kenosha County till Monday. Sunny and warm today, high of 85. Chance for showers and storms tonight, a low of 72. Chance for showers and storms tomorrow, a high of 88. And again, a chance for precipitation on Sunday with a high of 83. That chance for rain is actually going to linger into Monday and Tuesday as well. Monday's high 81, Tuesday's high 78. 76 in Madison, 75 in Green Bay, and in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Oh, welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Good to be back in the studio. We were out in Delavan yesterday for a beautiful WTMJ Classic presented by William Pella. I don't know what I was saying there. Pella Windows and Doors. I'll get my Pella. So thanks to all the partners out there, all the teammates did a great job. Fantastic event. Glorious, sunshine-filled day. But
golf game wasn't what I thought it would be.
No, but you never know. You never know with golf. That's even golfers, pro golfers can get an 11 on a par 3. So that's the craziness of golf.
That's what Kristen got?
No.
We didn't
keep track.
We
We're just sort of
We
bonus.
just kind of like parachuted in on different holes, played with some partners. But in general, I was off a game when I decided to take a swing.
Then we should play for money when we finally get out there.
Her ball wanted to go right most of the time, which it's a matter
Steve
of
had good advice. I told him, I was like, what I want when I golf is someone to correct me.
You need a caddy.
Yeah, I need someone to
Yeah,
be
you
like,
could
you're
make the
doing.
old man carry your bag.
Yeah,
I think
you're
he'd do that
doing.
for you.
This is what you need to
Thanks
adjust.
for the old man reference. Joseph Pecky, Democratic Jazz. We are Bill-less today. He's out doing something personal, so we are thinking about Bill, and we will welcome him back next week.
I was under the impression Max was going to fill in. He did so well at the fair last week.
Really
Lovely listener sent actually a couple listeners sent some great messages about Max's broadcasting skills, which Max likes broadcasting. So whether that's in his future or not, because for a long time he wanted to be a police officer. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe be police chief.
Future's bright.
Yes.
He's
All
nine.
right.
He's got
So
time.
I'm assuming the Bill McCoshen
mantle,
the MAGA perspective. So for all the listeners, you're going to hear me say things that I probably wouldn't say. But I want...
And maybe I've never said.
Maybe I've never said, but here's why I'm doing this. Because I think we have to acknowledge, this is already me talking like a MAGA, there's a large number of people in this country who think this way, and they think this way for a lot of different reasons, and I'm going to try to articulate those in all the topics we talk about today.
I wish you good fortune in the debates to come.
Yeah, right. Stop! Don't be tag teaming me either.
No, I feel like I need to play the role of moderator.
Okay.
And
That's
since
good.
it's
All
three
right.
of us, so I'm
All
going
right.
to try to do that as much as I am capable of doing that. All right.
If you have any comments, 855-616-1620, our Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. Let's get this party started.
All right, the biggest news of the day, I would imagine, most would agree, is the summit that is going to be in Alaska at 3 p.m. Eastern. I think it's 11 a.m. Alaskan time, between Putin, who will be there, President Trump, who I think is already there. One main man who will not be there is President Zelensky. So he and European allies are basically going to be watching anxiously from afar for signs of Trump and whether or not he will give in to Putin. So I don't think anyone's expecting that there's going to be a deal that comes out of this. At least that's how they're painting it, but at least it's a conversation. And why do this without Zelensky?
Here's what most people are missing. It makes sense to not have him there as the two most powerful men in the world, Vladimir Putin.
President Xi of China would like a word.
I don't think so.
What? You think Putin's... Okay.
I think he is more powerful than the leader of China.
Why?
Well, because he has strength and power that China doesn't have. China doesn't flex like Russia does.
Russia's economy is smaller than California's.
Is China at war?
Probably.
Militarily, are they at war right now?
No.
Okay. Russia's at war. That always escalates your significance in the world theater. So here's what I like about this story. Here's what I love about this. Two very strong men, strong leaders. You may not like them. They are getting face to face in the state of Alaska, which has a lot of tied history between the two countries, and saying, okay, as the two most, I would say the most significant leaders in the world today, what can we figure out and then bring Vladimir Zelensky and Ukraine into this story? That's what they're doing. That should be appreciated by the American public, that two men are willing to have that conversation, which is sort of unprecedented in recent history.
You do not make peace with your friends. I am not here to indict diplomacy. In fact, I'm going to start in a pretty surprising place, and I'm going to echo what Hillary Clinton, former Secretary of State and Democratic nominee for president who lost to Donald Trump in 2016, said, which is if Donald Trump can get in a room with Putin and negotiate a deal that is a lasting peace where Russia goes back across its borders, and whether the impetus for that is economic sanctions relief, economic investment, then she will nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize.
She said that?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think that will happen?
I do not think that will happen.
Well, because that is, I mean, what I understand this, and I will be totally honest as far as on all the scale of things that I try to stay up to date with, my understanding of all of the moving pieces in this is as much as I can keep up with. But what I understand is for the Kremlin, they want that territory. They want the territory that is resource rich, and they're not. That's kind of their deal breaker, right? It's like if they don't get that, they're not going to stop.
That's not why today is fraught with risk for America. We have to remember that the only thing in the world that Putin wants, perhaps as much or more than the territory of Ukraine, is a weakened West and a divided America. That is why they have engaged in active measures for the last 10 years. He has proven that he can play Trump before. He rolled him in Helsinki in 2018. It was a very low moment for the first Trump presidency.
Remind us what happened then.
That was when he walked out and standing next to Putin doing the press conference said, well, Putin told me they didn't interfere in the election, and I have no reason not to believe him, siding with Putin over the American intelligence agencies. And so Putin is not there just to talk about Ukraine. He is also there to try to continue to weaken and divide the West. I don't think that Trump walks into this with much leverage, and here's why, right? The leverage points are the United States will more forcefully support Ukraine. Trump can't do that because his base will revolt, and Putin knows that, right? Like, so what is the leverage point for Trump to say you need to roll back across the lines, you need to bring this conflict to an end when the Russian economy has been re-engineered to basically become a war machine? Now, again, that economy is smaller than the state of California's, but it is geared towards creating arms and munitions for battle. That is the state of their economy right now.
President has played his hand. I know what his hand is. He's putting pressure. He has said, I'm paraphrasing, extreme consequences if they don't play ball on this issue with Ukraine. He's already said that. They're actually behind the scenes tightening the screws on countries that Russia plays with, tariff trade-wise. They're tightening the screws on those countries like India, other places that Russia deals with. That's sort of the game that they're playing. Why would you think the President of the United States would not do the same thing to Russia if they don't play ball on this that he's done to other countries, including the European Union, that are allies of ours? He wants this to happen. He said throughout the campaign, we want this war to end. Now, I'll be honest. It didn't end like he said it was going to be, which was like day one. That's an unrealistic expectation. That's a campaign promise. But for me, a president who is willing to step up and have that face-to-face with another powerful leader, we should always encourage that.
So you don't have any concerns about inviting a indicted war criminal onto American soil for this type of summit?
Look, if you look at the world that we live in, similar to what's happening on that war front with Ukraine is what's happening in the Middle East. And that's with an ally of ours, Israel. So are you willing to call those people in Israel war criminals as well? Has
Netanyahu been indicted by the International Criminal Court?
Not yet.
Could
he be?
And listen, as I said, I am not here to poo-poo the art of diplomacy. My concern is I think Putin has a stronger hand and a more strategic way of viewing the world, and anything he can do to further fracture our body politic is a win for him. He has proven he can roll Trump before, and Trump has basically put his cards on the table and say, peace at any price. I want to get my peace prize, and peace at any price is not okay when it comes to one country rolling tanks over the border and invading another sovereign nation.
All right, that is the voice of Democratic strategist Joe Zepecki. That is Steve Scafidi. Playing a role today, playing today, playing it pretty good.
Playing it fine.
Yeah, he's because Bill McCoshen is not here. We'll have more of this on Point Taken after this.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 19th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 19th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scafidi. Let's talk about Haven't Changed My Life, Can Change Yours. Are you one of those people, or you have a partner that's one of those people that are not sleeping comfortably, not waking up rested and refreshed, and frankly, just not breathing well? Well, I went to Advent 5 years ago. Quick 30-minute visit, talked to their docs. They figured it out for me with an additional sleep study done at home in my own bed. My problem, which is very common, a lot of people have the same thing, sinuses, nasal passage, breathing triangle. They figured it out. They answered my questions. And in a short procedure, they fixed me. So when I go to bed now, which is usually about 9:30, 10 o'clock, I sleep through the whole night. I wake up, rested and refreshed, ready to do the show. Whatever you do for a living, or whether you're retired or not, doesn't matter. You want to sleep through the whole night. This is a recipe to make that happen. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com and schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing, too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
It's worth $100 now to save thousands later. Vince Vitrano for Urban Heating and Cooling. Family-owned business. Ryan and his wife, Ellie. I had Ryan out to the Vitrano house for an AC tune-up. Cleaned out all the coils, checked for any issues that could cause breakdowns, set up my air conditioner to run more efficiently all summer. This service available in your home for just $99 plus tax, saving on your electric bills, helping prevent more costly repairs down the road. Tell them Vinny sent you when you call. UrbanHeatingandCooling.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen Bry. Steve Scafidi is always here with me. Joseph Pecky is here. Bill McCoshen is out today, so Steve is playing the role. He's trying to channel Bill, which I appreciate.
I'm not going to be Bill McCoshen. Bill McCoshen is an awesome.
He's one of one.
He is one
that
of
Bill
one.
McCoshen.
And we always think about Bill even when he's not here. And Bill, whatever our political differences are, Bill is a great friend of ours and a great human being and a guy that I'd like to spend time with.
Joe and I said this after we were all done last week at the State Fair. Joe and I were just walking around, and Bill had left, and I was just like,
Well, first we had a drink.
we had a
some
drink.
food.
Oh yeah, you guys had the
Bill and
you had
I
the fat
split the fat Elvis donut.
And
Which is
I
delicious,
also
by
filmed
the way.
you guys doing that.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
still
forgot to
waiting
post
for
it.
the,
Yeah, but I was like, God, it's so crazy to like someone so much and disagree with them on almost everything.
But that sets a great example. That sets a great example
does.
for people, and that's one of the things we try to do on this show.
All right, move on to the other big news this week, that the National Guard has been deployed in Washington, D.C. So President Trump is exercising his unique powers over the nation's capital to commandeer the city's police force, deploy the National Guard, and send hundreds of federal law enforcement agents into the city. Obviously, the mayor there, not thrilled about this, but there's nothing she can really do except warn that this is
D.C. is suing now.
Oh, I missed that
This
part.
morning, the D.C. Attorney General filed
On
suit
what grounds?
that it oversteps the home rule statutes that govern D.C. I want to actually start personal on this because I think it...
Because you lived in D.C.
I did. And in fact, 20 years ago this month, I was jumped in D.C. I was the victim of a violent crime. Took 5 staples to put my head back together. Now, I didn't fare as badly as Big Balls did because I managed to scare the attacker away and they didn't get anything. And crime in cities is a fact of life. It is an unfortunate fact of life. It is a sad fact of life. And we have to be smart about this stuff. The reality is that DC's crime rate is at a 30-year low. Crime trends and statistics, like this stuff does not happen overnight. Donald Trump has been president for 200 days, and the crime situation is no worse the day after someone who works for him gets assaulted than it was the week before when he decided to spend a couple $100 million on a new ballroom, or the month before, or the month before that, or 9 months before that when he decided to pardon a bunch of violent criminals who attacked police officers on January 6th. So this is not actually about crime. This is about flexing muscle and trying to say it is my way or the highway. And there are a couple of challenges here. Like, I call it MAGA DEI. This is dangerous because National Guard troops are not trained to police streets. This is expensive because it costs more to deploy guards people. It costs more to communities to pull guardsmen and women out of their jobs and out of their communities to do this. And it is going to be ineffective, right? Like, it is not that efficient. And we're seeing that where the troops are deployed to like nightlife spots on 14th Street, but they're not actually in the parts of DC where the crime rate is the highest. So this is all for show, and this is what strong men do. They want to appear tough so that people like Steve McCoshen channeling Bill can say Donald Trump is one of the two strongest people in the world.
Here's what the left always forgets about this stuff. One, we had a country that decided last November, with the second Trump term of his two-term presidency, maybe three, who knows? Who knows what might happen? You never know. Keep our options open from a right perspective. You're not going to react to that?
Well, I was going to say, didn't he get less votes this time than he got in 2020?
I don't care about that. Here's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, he won the election. Here's what the left forgets about crime. We have sort of dumbed down what we accept in cities in America for a lot of different reasons. Oh, we're being way too tough on criminals. We're keeping people in. Though, let me finish. We're keeping people in prisons when they could actually be functioning members of society. That's debatable. Maybe if with the right influences, right resources. Sure, maybe. Maybe license plate production is not the way you do it, but, that's what we do here in Wisconsin. But here's the thing. We always talk about investment, dollars to public safety, law enforcement. This is you complain about the money being spent. This is an influx of dollars. Yes, it's expensive, but I will guarantee you on this program that in the short term, there will be even less crime in D.C. And by the way, the numbers, some numbers are down. Carjackings are up year to year. So don't just look at the overall picture.
Okay, but Steve,
carjackings are up, which are very dangerous.
Yes.
But the thing is, as far as the main word that you just said is short term. This isn't a long term solution.
We don't know. Who knows the long term of anything?
But
in this
also,
country?
the thing that I just found out this morning is that the National Guard has no authority, as the same as police officers, to actually arrest anyone. So all they can really do is being detain someone who's committing a crime
it's a deterrent.
until a police officer actually shows up.
Think about a citizen walking into any venue or any public area. If you have a person that's either law enforcement, specifically D.C. police, Metro Police, or National Guardsmen or women, that is a natural deterrent to sort of stepping over that line, which most of us never step over, but some people feel very comfortable doing. That is a deterrent. Ultimately, what will determine if this has worked or not is the numbers on crime from this year to next year. And if those numbers go down, that's a win for the president and the country.
So you're saying from this month until this year, next month?
When this president implemented this new policy in D.C., essentially taking over, which he has the right to do, when we see the changes of the crime numbers go down, that will prove this president was right.
So you're saying that the National Guard is going to be there for a year?
No, I'm saying in the near term, a couple months. Who knows how long they'll be there? We don't know. No one knows the future and how long they'll be there.
So you think this is the right move?
I think from the president's perspective, trying to take back cities from crime and criminals, absolutely.
So should the National Guard be in every city?
In the case of governors who are the authority in the states, they decide that. If the president can work with those governors, they decide that, absolutely.
I've got a little bit more on this after the break.
All right, let's take a break, and Joe Zepecki will come back with his rebuttal. This is Point Taken.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
We see you out there making the most of every moment, one big bright idea at a time. At Blaine's, we're glad to be part of it by offering best-in-class products and solutions at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. Like men's full blue denim jeans, $12.99, 10% off all Gardner Bender electrical supplies. Rewards members save 15%. Milwaukee job site backpacks, only $84.99, and Blaine's brand conventional motor oil, $2.99 a quart. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
All right, we only have a minute before we have to go to the bottom of the hour news. But Joe Zapecki, what would your response be to Steve?
That when
Steve's-
MAGA Steve is really good at creating straw people because no one on the left thinks that we should just let crime go unanswered. There are policy solutions here. Let's hire more cops to put them on the street of D.C. Let's change the rules governing 16, 17, 18-year-olds who are sometimes treated as minors and sometimes not, so that if they commit violent crimes, they do face more consequences and accountability. Those are all more reasonable than stretching an already stretched too thin National Guard and assigning them a mission that they have not been trained for.
It all sounds reasonable, but here's the reality. The left has blown up law enforcement and police officers for like the last 5 years. And we can't hire anymore.
They're charging a guy with a felony for throwing a Subway sandwich, notoriously soft sandwich.
We can all find
while
isolated cases that demonstrate our point of
people
view.
who were tasing cops on January 6th.
Have you heard that story about the guy with the DOJ?
We can all find isolated stories that support our point of view. All right, we got local news. I'm relishing my new role on this Friday. It's going to be a one-week thing. ABC News coming up right now.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump on his way to Alaska for his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. ABC Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz says President Trump's been lowering expectations for tangible results at the end of this meeting, but there are a few signs that could point to success.
If they come out of there and say, we're going to have another meeting. We're going to have a meeting with President Zelensky. Even though Vladimir Putin didn't want to include President Zelensky in this meeting, I think that will be a mark of success. At least it is progress.
Erin has now grown to hurricane strength. It's unlikely to hit the U.S. mainland, but is expected to bring potentially dangerous rip currents to the U.S. East Coast next week. Retail sales jumping 0.5% last month, even as the Trump tariffs begin to take a toll on jobs. Washington, D.C.'s Attorney General now filing a lawsuit to block President Trump's takeover of its police department. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. Both Bradford and McKinley beaches have extended their closures into the weekend. City of Milwaukee Health Department extending those closures to protect public health. The Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District reports 90 to 95% groundwater and rainwater has mixed with untreated wastewater. Health Department officials say germs in untreated water can cause illness if swallowed or come into contact with eyes, nose, open wounds. Both beaches will reopen Sunday depending on weather and acceptable water quality test results. Pedestrian struck and killed in an apparent hit and run on Milwaukee's north side, 21st and Brown, late Thursday. The deceased was 43. No arrests yet. New sports bar could be moving into Deer District, replacing the Mecca Sports Bar and Grill. Tom's Watch Bar has signed a 10-year lease with the Milwaukee Bucks for the space outside Fiserv Forum. Our partners at the Milwaukee Business Journal say the chain plans to open September 15th with 2 bars, 2 patios, and wall-to-wall screens. The Bucks will collect 10% of sales as rent. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 57 points, 44,968. Nasdaq down 81, 21,628. S&P 500 down 15 points at 6,453. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still pretty quiet out there, just a disabled vehicle still. This is going to be I-41 north at the ramp from County Road K. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warning in effect for Waukesha County through Saturday, and a flood watch for Kenosha County until Monday. Mostly sunny and warm today with a high of 85. We've got chances of showers and storms tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So for the next several days. Overnight low 72, tomorrow's high 88. Chance of storms Sunday, a high of 83. Monday and Tuesday, again, chance of storms. High Monday 81, Tuesday's high 78. 76 in Madison, 75 in Green Bay and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1033.
With over 57 years of experience, family-owned Yutka Fence installs high-quality fencing with residential options, including vinyl, wood, aluminum, chain link, and ornamental fences. Committed to craftsmanship and customer service, Yutka Fence doesn't just build fences, they build relationships based on care, trust, precision, and protecting what matters most. Mention you're a WTMJ fan for 10% off your project. Schedule your free estimate today at yutkafence.com or call 262-859-3226.
When it comes to your career, you have an advantage. Well, it's time to take advantage. The LAK Group offers career coaching so you can identify and amplify your unique skill set to give your career a bump or get in sync with your organization. From resume critiques to job offer negotiation to personal branding, career coaching from LAK gets you on the right path. Learn more at transformingcareers.com. LAK. Discover your human advantage.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Rocking it out on a Friday on WTMJ, 620 WTMJ. Joseph Packey, Chris Dubai, Steve Scavini. I'm assuming, because our regular guy Bill McCoshen is out of service today, I'm assuming the MAGA role.
How you finding it?
It's exhilarating, actually.
I feel like you got extra energy today.
I do. I have a lot of it. That fresh air, I'm telling you. And the great fans.
The
and
text line is loving it. People are very confused.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear the beginning or the beginning of the second segment, because Bill's typically defends Donald Trump and the MAGA position, Make America Great Again. I'm filling that role as best I can.
Speaking for the 38% of Americans who still approve of the job this president is doing.
As I say, often polls go up and down. All right.
Let's move to Wisconsin and any new developments we have with the governor's race. So one of the things that we had on our schedule to talk about but didn't was Bill Berrien again coming out with a weird messaging around concealed carry and his,
you get a gun and you get a gun and you want a gun, you get a gun.
All of the good guys to have guns.
I object to your characterization as weird. I mean, it's a constitutional right. What's weird about it? No restrictions.
No restrictions.
Yeah. No restrictions on gun ownership. We think that's a good idea.
Or how close it can be to
Other
schools.
than those that have been agreed to by both parties, the majority parties in this country, we have common sense ones like no taking loaded guns on planes. I think most people agree with that.
So some rules and regulations are okay.
The ones that are agreed to by both major parties in the country. But this idea that a Second Amendment exists for a reason, right? To keep citizens safe, to allow them to protect themselves in their own home, I think is a right that should be respected and not constantly jabbed at or infringed on.
So if we know that, because we were just talking about this morning, so if we know that the cities with the highest crime rates are in red states, which what I assume means...
Which have more guns.
Which has more guns. And even in a state like Wisconsin, which obviously right now has a Democratic governor, but had a Republican legislature for a very long time, pointing to the ease of access to guns being one of the reasons for higher crime. You don't think making less regulations on concealed carries would add to that?
I think that when you try to make broad statements about anything related to firearms, gun ownership, gun rights, you fall into the trap of you're always going to shift so far to the extreme that
Isn't what that
this is not
statement
extreme.
is
It frankly
though?
threatens those
Saying
of us
that
who
anyone
respect the Second
you don't
Amendment.
have to have any kind of license to have a concealed carry. Isn't
Right.
that extreme?
Responsible gun ownership requires knowing how to safely handle and discharge a firearm.
Well, you're speaking to a gun owner.
And you are, I'm sure, a responsible one.
I think most are.
I'm going to go ahead and say something nice now.
Oh.
I am in awe of people like Bill Berrien who serve in roles like in the Navy SEALs. The amount of physical and mental focus that takes, like the commitment that it takes is incredible. I am in awe of that, and I am so grateful that there are people like Bill Berrien who are willing to play that role. And Mr. Berrien, as a SEAL, got hours and hours, probably weeks or months of his life dedicated to learning about firearms and how to use them safely. The idea that anybody who wants to can just be packing heat, walking down the street with not even 5 minutes of instruction on how to safely handle a deadly weapon is insane, and it is unpopular. 69% of Wisconsinites, according to the Marquette Law School poll, support the current rules, which is if you want a concealed carry, you have to go through the training and certification process.
Like getting a driver's license.
Yeah, that's not crazy.
Well, driver's lights aren't constitutional. Drivers access to cars, but because cars didn't exist.
But you've already acknowledged that there are some rules
But
of the road
our
here.
current guns didn't exist either, Steve.
Well, guns existed. So
But
let's
not the kind of guns we have
let's
now.
not take extreme examples and try to make a bigger point. So here's the problem with this. It always assumes that the government and mandates and laws will sort of fix it. How about all those responsible gun owners who do take training, who go to places where they can test their firearms, practice, gun ranges? All of those folks are saying, hold on a second, stop infringing on my rights.
How is
No
this
one is
infringing
infringing
on
on
their
your
rights?
rights. Yes, every time you turn the screws on gun owners, there's always going to be this fear that what's the next thing?
But this
and
is
that's
this
a
is the
legitimate
existing
concern.
law. This
is
would
the
be
legitimate
loosening the
concern.
screws.
This is a legitimate concern. And I'll give you the argument that I think has to be made always from this perspective, right-leaning perspective, is that one of the concerns of the rights and conservatives is we are way too easy on people who are repeat offenders. They constantly are recycled back with no resources. And I would argue, even if from the right perspective, resources to retrain, that's a good thing. But the fact that you're recycling these, I can give you a direct example. The city of Milwaukee, where an individual has had 21 arrests with a firearm and is constantly being recycled. That is not a normal way to behave in society.
I want you to go talk to your cop friends and ask them if they think this makes their job easier or harder. If any Tom, Dick, or Harry can just be packing heat and there's no rules about it. And I also want you to consider, and I want our listeners to consider, we are moving towards law enforcement not identifying themselves, wearing masks on ICE raids. If you are Joe Q citizen and you are just going about your day and somebody runs up on you wearing a mask and you can't tell if they are law enforcement or not, and you are packing heat and you open fire on them, what if it actually is a law enforcement officer? This is more dangerous for the people we expect to keep our communities safe. It's nonsense.
And all I'm asking is that the respect that needs to happen when it comes to the Second Amendment in this country, nothing's perfect. We all know that.
Yeah, the guy with the 21 convictions gives you a bad name because you are a responsible gun owner.
It gives all of us a bad name, including the people who let this guy recycle out in the community over and over again, terrorizing citizens in this community. That's the problem, and that's the reaction that the right has to all of this stuff. You are not doing your part of the bargain when it comes to criminalizing criminal behavior and keeping those people off the streets, and, by the way, keeping us safer.
I agree, and that's a separate conversation.
I was say that's a separate conversation. You're just a total
responsible
red herring.
gun owners respect firearms. They
Absolutely,
respect
of course
the
they do.
weapons.
They also respect the law.
So you should not want someone who does not respect firearms.
You're assuming that people only get training when it's mandated. People do a lot of things that aren't mandated by government. Don't make that assumption.
It's an awfully small little hurdle.
I think you're wrong on that. As a gun owner and somebody who hunts, I think you're wrong on that.
All right. Is there any other news regarding the governor's race that we want to touch on?
What's
Can you sneeze?
I'm about to sneeze.
Who is going to be the Democratic candidate? There's like 100 names now.
There's a lot of names. Well, apparently,
Why are they so confused on that side?
there is a new Democratic nominee.
No, candidate, not nominee. We don't have a nominee.
Thank you, candidate. Who's a Milwaukee Union member, and I guess he was a lobbyist.
He's a beer vendor.
And a beer vendor.
I love that
And
part of the story.
I feel like I know a lot of Democrats. Joe, I think you know a lot of Democrats. I have literally never heard of this person. His name is Ryan Sternad.
Yeah, and as far as I know, I didn't meet him when I was running for party chair, for example. I don't know Ryan. Like the water's warm. Everybody jump on in. There's no rush here, right? Like it's August. People are worried about getting the kids back to school, taking that last family trip. The first mover advantage went to Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez. Everyone else, whether it's David Crowley, whether it's Josh Call, whether it's others, they have the time now to get this right, get their affairs in order, figure out what they want to do, and launch in September. And I think you will see more big names jump in, but there's no rush at this point.
Jesse Ventura won the race in Minnesota. A beer vendor from Wisconsin. That's well played, my friend. Early, but I like the effort.
Well, here's the name. You want to know the name of his political action committee and lobbying group? Drinks in the seats.
There you go. 35 years as a beer vendor at American
Had to
Family
deal with
Feud.
some two-fisted sloppers,
All
probably.
right, you got to say something nice from
I
Meg
do.
Steve.
Yeah.
You got to say something nice.
I already said something nice
You
about Bill
did.
Barian's great service to
Sort
this
of
country.
twisted, but okay.
All right, we'll be back after this. It's point taken.
While you used to be known as the Big Red Machine, to use that name now would just be obscene. It's the Brewers and the Reds in Cincinnati.
And a fly ball to right. This is hit well. Back is Reynolds. Track gone. Sal Frelick goes big fly for the 9th time this year.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
Hey, Steve Scavvy's WTMJ Steve Scavvy, I should say, for Annex Wealth Management. You've heard me talk about Annex. Dave Spinell's on our show every Monday. Maybe your friends or neighbors have too, but isn't it time for you? Get your financial house in order, not just for today, but for the long road ahead. In these uncertain times, uncertainty is a word we use a lot, actually, when it comes to the economy and financial planning. A focused plan built by the fee-only fiduciaries at Annex Wealth Management is more than smart. It's essential. Head to the annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button, I should say. Famous now, Get Started button. Annex makes it seamless, handling everything, retirement investment planning, tax planning, estate planning, all in one place. Meet at one of their 8 convenient locations. Their offices are amazing. I've been to most of them. Or virtually via Zoom. And make sure to check out their Instant Insight webinar series. The One Big Beautiful Bill has so many moving parts, from taxes to planning. Annex has designed those to make it convenient to get up to speed. Find it all. Details at annexwealth.com/events. Click the Get Started button. I always say that's the best way to start if you want to change your future when it comes to your financial planning. Not all financial advisors are created equal. Know the difference. Take charge of your future. Start at Annex Wealth Management.
Hi, this is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. And you know, I'm a consumer just like you. And my ears perk up for pain relief messages just like you. But some of these ads...
Since I started taking this natural supplement, within weeks, my pain is completely gone.
I mean, come on. Give me a break. The truth is, there are imbalances in your body causing your pain. And there's physical therapy, which we are highly skilled at, that can improve imbalances. And there are alternative pain solutions. But not all of them are proven, safe, effective, or affordable. At Rejuvenex, the effectiveness of Toradol joined with hyaluronic acid has been proven. Our treatments are affordable, FDA approved, safe, and they're powerful medicines. They calm inflammation and cushion joints, and they can make your pain go away.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Now that you're ready to purchase a new bike, do yourself a solid by stopping by one of our Wheel and Sprocket stores to test ride an electric bike, better known today as an e-bike. And let me tell you, these bikes are a game changer because you can ride a whole lot further without even breaking a sweat. We're talking 20 to 50 miles on a single charge. So even riding uphill comes with tons of thrills. But before you decide, stop by any of our Wheel and Sprocket locations first and let us explain in detail what e-bikes are all about. And once you're here, you'll find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride. After all, here at Wheel and Sprocket, we love bikes, which is why bikes are all we do.
Visit WillandSprocket.com for a location near you.
I'm Amelia Kegel with Wheel and Sprocket. Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Yeah. You keep saying your side is better. It's time to
Say something nice
about the other side of the political aisle on Point Taken.
Come on, people now.
All right, welcome back to Point Taken. Let's do this quickly so then we can get to grab bag. Joe Zepecki, I know you already said something nice about Bill Berrien's service.
I did. I appreciate it.
Do you have another one?
I do. A new Economist YouGov poll finds 83% of Republican-leaning Americans approve of President Trump, down from 92% in January. And so to those 9% of Americans who are Republicans, I just want to recognize and appreciate. We don't have to just follow the person we voted for. We, the people, have the power. And so doesn't mean that those 9% aren't going to vote for the Republican nominee for president next time, or they're not going to vote for a Republican for Congress. They still get to be Republicans, and they should do so proudly. But being an American means the president works for us. And at least about 1 out of 10 Republicans are recognizing that and are, prepared to say they don't agree with everything this president has done. That is a healthy sign that our politics, is not maybe as bad as we sometimes fret about.
My side would argue politics is moving in the right direction. All right, and don't forget I'm arguing from the Bill McCoshen perspective today. I want to say something nice.
I hope Bill's listening.
I hope he is too. I hope that Muriel Bowser, the mayor of the District of Columbia, is listening, because she and I are not even close politically. And I support the efforts that are ongoing in Washington, D.C., the law enforcement and National Guard piece from that perspective. But I will say this. The mayor has been nothing but gracious and sort of and what cannot never be an easy thing, right? Someone is sort of challenging your authority, whatever your politics are. That is not an easy thing. I have met her twice. I have listened to her speak on those occasions. Most recently, not that recently, but in I think 2016 at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Brilliance in her approach to her job, which is not an easy job. And one of the things I love to talk about is law enforcement, how hard that job is, and we make it harder every day. I would say that is someone, even from a different political perspective, that shows grace under fire, shows a willingness to lead, even as the externals are going crazy. That's an example of good leadership, albeit different politically than I am.
You brought up the National Guard stuff again, so just a quick question. If Big Balls gets the Congressional or the Presidential Medal of Freedom for being a victim of a violent crime, do you think I should also get one, since I was a victim of a violent crime?
See, I'm defending the Bill position, but I'm not defending stupidity. Big Balls, or whatever the hell his name, should not be anywhere near the White House or the ceremony. He does not deserve it.
All right. My quick one is just the continued, I know this is kind of old news, but it's still in motion, of the congressional stock trading ban, and all of the Republicans, including Representative Anna Paulina Luna, still...
And Massey, I think,
and
is
Massey,
also for this.
and Josh Hawley, and so some of the folks who are he's giving me the we gotta go sign. So yes, congratulations to all of them who are trying to push this forward, because it is the right thing to do.
Amen.
All right, when we come back, grab bag.
It's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. This summer, I'm getting relief from the hot sun whenever I need it with my motorized retractable awning from Comfort Awnings. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors all summer long. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive $200 off all awnings and screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
Bill Berrien is a former Navy SEAL, a businessman, and he's running for governor.
I'm Bill Berrien. While the globalists and corrupt politicians shipped our jobs to China, I went all in on Wisconsin. At my manufacturing business, we hire American, build American, and take the fight to China. I'm an outsider and a businessman who puts America first, just like President Trump. Together, we will make Wisconsin manufacturing great again.
Bill Berrien for governor, paid for by Bill for Wisconsin.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Beautiful and safe. Decks built to last by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to our Outdoor Living Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. All right, since we got most of the politics out of our systems, let's finish up with some grab bags.
All right, we only got a couple minutes left. Joe, what is in your grab bag? Oh, we need your mic on.
I really appreciate the way that communities have come together in the wake of the flooding and the storms last weekend, and neighbors are helping neighbors out, hauling junk, ripping out basement floors. It is good to see people helping one another. Sometimes the worst that happens brings out the best in us. So to anybody who helped a neighbor, in any way during the storms or who was impacted last week, good on ya. This is what community looks like.
Keep it coming, because there's still a lot to do.
Yeah, and you and I are going to talk about that, because there's things we can do, and we're going to actively talk about helping people, because this is that time when people need a lot of help. Trust me, I've been driving around the community. Mine has to be George Webb, who are honoring their commitment now the third time in their history. It's been 86, I think 2018, somewhere around there. And then this year when we had two chances and they did it the second time. What a great organization. We had our friend Rick Essenberg, who, surprise, surprise, owns a George Webb. It's just sort of this amazing coincidence, I guess, or whatever. He was left it by his father. And then, of course, the Milwaukee Brewers, who continue to do everything right. This is a magic team. Doesn't mean there's a guarantee they're going to go to the World Series or win a World Series, but it certainly puts them in the right path to do that. I have nothing but respect for what they've done on the field, off the field, and to George Webb. Thank you for doing this for the community, who maybe, just maybe, need a little burger uplift in the next week or so, given all the stuff that's happening. So kudos to those folks.
All right, my pop culture grab bag is the Taylor Swift New Heights podcast, and only because this is a woman who found love after many failed relationships.
Sound like anyone you know?
In her 30s, and found it with a man who is so supportive of her and just thinks she is the smartest woman on earth and is very happy to play second fiddle to her. And it reminds me of my own relationship. And I love it, and I feel like it is a strong endorsement for waiting for the right person, and that you can find love in your 30s and beyond, and we should celebrate that.
Are you officially a 92%er now?
That's like their fan base?
Yeah, that's the Kelsey Brothers podcast
I like
fans.
their clips. I don't have enough time to listen to their whole podcast. I still haven't even listened to the whole thing yet. I've just seen the clips. It's 2 hours.
All right, here's my message about Taylor Swift. Anyone that doesn't like her, first of all, you are missing the boat completely. She's a successful businesswoman. She's persevered from a small career to a mega career. And she's a great example of, in this case, men should respect women in all the different ways that they essentially outshine us every day of the week.
Well,
every week of the year.
Donald Trump, your president, doesn't respect her.
Here's my message for Donald. Go get him, Donald. Get it done in Anchorage. That's my message.
All right, Moderate Steve will be back
as
after
Mega
this.
Steve.
Thanks, Joe. We'll see you next
guys.
week.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Haven't you just had it with overpriced, overrated fish fries? Don't pay $16 or more. The Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford's all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is $7.99. WTMJ's John Mercure here. After a long week, don't cook. Relax with a cold beverage and a Friday fish fry for $7.99. The kids' menu starts at $3.99, and they can safely play in that huge game room away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. The Mine Shaft is super family-friendly. Your Saturday steak or prime rib dinner is under $25. Sunday brunch is under $15, far less than what you'll pay elsewhere. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near the EAA in Oshkosh. Lots of seating, close parking, and a very friendly staff. Just walk in today for your all-you-can-eat beer-battered haddock fish fry for $7.99, serving from 11 a.m. Get there early. It's big food, it's big fun, it's the Mine Shaft. Check out mineshaftRestaurant.com.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
Looking for better sleep? Helix Sleep's award-winning mattresses are now at Steinhafels, so you can try before you buy. Get 20% off all Helix mattress orders. Visit steinhafels.com to learn more. Better sleep starts now with Helix and Steinhafels.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
This is why you love the game.
Fly ball to deep right. It is back. Soto back. Out of here.
The Brewers head to Cincinnati to take on the Reds.
Who's writing this thing?
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:05.
Freaking believable.
On the home of the Brewers, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 79 degrees, mostly sunny, warm today, high of 85. Flood warning in effect for Waukesha County through tomorrow. Flood watch for Kenosha County until Monday. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. The city of Wauwatosa says recovery is ongoing after last weekend's flooding.
Officials say more than 500 homes and 50 businesses were impacted, with crews rescuing about 70 people and numerous pets from floodwaters. Public Works has already hauled about 250 tons of debris. Hart Park could partially reopen within a week, but some areas, including the stadium, playground, and parts of the parking lot, will stay closed until repairs are completed. Flood-damaged items can be placed on the curb until August 24th with no appointment needed. Damage to public property is estimated at $9 million. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Erin has become a hurricane with Category 1 winds. It's the first named hurricane of the Atlantic season. Forecasters say it will stay off the U.S. mainland, but ABC News chief meteorologist Ginger Z says it could bring dangerous rip currents to the East Coast, and areas of the Caribbean could experience high winds and heavy rain.
This is a function of where this thing is going to go. So it's now just over 500 miles east of the Leeward Islands. It's moving west-northwest, and that northwest flow is important because it keeps it north of the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and east of the Bahamas.
Maximum sustained winds of about 75 miles an hour. Washington, D.C.'s Attorney General has filed a federal lawsuit against President Trump over the takeover of the city's police force. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has that story.
D.C.'s Attorney General accuses the U.S. Attorney General of trying to unlawfully sideline the city's police chief. Pam Bondi's Thursday night order says the department's chain of command can't make any decisions without the approval of DEA Administrator Terry Cole, who's been tapped as the department's emergency federal commissioner. But D.C.'s lawsuit says there's nothing in the law that allows for that. The Home Rule Act says for up to 30 days, the president may direct the mayor to provide police services for federal purposes.
Last night, FBI and Secret Service were out in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood west of the White House removing homeless tents. They stopped when a woman showed them a city notice saying she had till Monday to leave. President Trump says it'll be up to Ukraine on whether to engage in territorial swaps with Russia. He's on his way to Alaska to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump's been tight-lipped about any potential agreements he may propose during the meeting. Raising awareness about missing child alerts in Wisconsin. A bill signed by Governor Tony Evers last year expanded the criteria for issuing alerts for missing children. Attorney General Josh Call.
When these alerts go out, people do take them seriously. There are contacts that are made to law enforcement in the case of some of these alerts, and that's more information that's available to help locate missing kids. The more that we have get that information in situations where kids go missing, the more likely it is that kids can be brought home safe.
Officials encouraging the public to sign up for the Wisconsin Crime Alert Network to receive these alerts. The attendance numbers are out for the 2025 Wisconsin State Fair.
Just under 900,000 attendees walked through the gates at State Fair Park this year. While down considerably from a record-setting figure in 2024, the 2025 total was impacted by the fair's cancellation Sunday amid historic flooding across southeast Wisconsin. Fair CEO Sherry Black says officials are still developing an exchange program for tickets and vouchers from Sunday's canceled day to be swapped out for the 2026 equivalent. The fair next year will celebrate its 175th anniversary. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 78 points, NASDAQ down 111, S&P 500 down 19. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing, too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Step right up and gaze into my crystal ball. I see flashing lights, spinning reels, and a big win. This August, you have a ticket to a cash carnival at Potawatomi. Play with your rewards card and earn entries to win your share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Prize drawings every Thursday through August 28th. Your fortune awaits only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzek here. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield and their custom design room. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
At Gruber Law Offices, our biggest priority is the care and service we provide to our clients. We know accidents can be overwhelming, and we're here to help every step of the way. Call now. One call, that's all.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers on the road for a series against the Reds. Milwaukee enters the game having won 12 straight, moving them to 76-44, best record in baseball. Packers were back on the field for a joint practice session with the Colts ahead of their preseason matchup Saturday. Quarterback Jordan Love told reporters he'll practice again next week after undergoing a procedure on his left thumb. NBA released its regular season schedule Thursday. Bucks open the season with a home game against the Wizards October 22nd. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A little bit of slowing. I-41 southbound, Highway Q to the Zoo. Another slow spot, I-43 southbound, Brown Deer Road to downtown.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Want to save big on your next home improvement project? Visit extpros.com today for expert services at unbeatable prices.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warning in effect for Waukesha County through tomorrow. Flood watch for Kenosha County through Monday. Sunny and warm today with a high of 85. Then chance for showers and storms moving in tonight. Low of 72. We have a chance of rain and storms Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Saturday's high 88. Sunday 83. Monday and Tuesday again chance for storms and showers. Monday's high 81. Tuesday 78. 79 in Madison. 78 in Green Bay. 79 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Welcome back. All right, Steve, how was that exercise for you? If you were just joining us now, we had Joe Zepecki for our Political Power Hour, but no Bill McCoshen. So Steve decided to take on the role of the MAGA representative.
And I appreciate all the commentary. We had a lot of text on it. And look, one of the things that I realized as I was doing this, even before as I was sort of thinking about it, and I actually did a lot of homework last night looking at MAGA positions on a lot of different topics that we were going to talk about. There's actually an interesting piece of this that I think is important. So for the folks who didn't like the fact that I was doing it, I'm hearing what you're saying because you're used to the way I usually approach things, which I'll do a lot of this hour. But here's the interesting piece that I like. One of the things when you sort of look inside someone else's soul and why they think the way they do is you sort of learn sort of the mechanics of it, the logistics, the pieces of why they think that way. And I think it's sort of silly to assume that we're all going to think in one way in this country, that we all look at the same issue in the same way. And, you know, we talked a lot about crime, city crime, and you know, murder rates and carjackings and what's happening in D.C., but there is a group of people in this country who says, you know, we have gotten so far away from law and order that we have to at least think about flexing at moments, whether that's your police, whether it's National Guard, and saying, all right, we're gonna reset. And that's the term I've been using a lot lately. Reset. Let's go forward. Doesn't mean that we allow police or National Guard to overstep. That's never going to be okay in my mind. But a reset to say, okay, what are we doing wrong? And I'll give you an example that's not related to law enforcement. Whatever you think about the border and how it's been handled over the last 3 decades, I think most people agree it's a mess. What the president, I think, has accomplished, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, I'll be the first to admit that, there's a significant reduction in people coming across the border without the proper process in place. That has been, I think, a positive for the country, not just Republicans. I think Democrats also, because if you're honest, and I've learned a lot by sort of researching this stuff, there are strains on our system, whether it's healthcare, whether it's just resources in communities, that can be really, really strained in moments where they see an influx. So that's an understanding that you only can gain by understanding what the other side is thinking. So it was an exercise for me. It doesn't mean that I necessarily, well, you know this.
You didn't change your mind necessarily.
No, we're going to get to a topic in a little bit where you'll actually have a better sense of what I feel about thinking. It has to do with the big meeting that's happening today in Anchorage, Alaska. But I think the important point for me is listening to what the other side has to say and doing it in a civil way, which we always try to do on this show, is important. You don't have to agree at all. You know, obviously I was trying to be theatrical as well and make it interesting.
You did a good job.
Yeah, I hope I did, because beyond educating and informing is entertainment. We want to have fun, which is always going to be a part of this show. So that was sort of my learning curve on being Bill for a day. Do I want to do that every week? Absolutely not.
It was entertaining.
I enjoyed it. So anyway,
but it was very fun. But yeah, I think that's the difference between a straw man argument and a steel man argument, right? A straw man.
Explain to people what that is.
So a straw man argument is basically when you're trying to misrepresent or weaken,
overstate.
Yeah, like you're basically misrepresenting the other side's argument. A steel man argument is when you're understanding their argument so well that it fortifies your own argument, right? As far as like understanding where they're coming from, understanding the point that they're trying to make, and taking it for face value versus going to the extreme, like all the left does this or all the right does this, and like assuming bad intentions from the other side, and that's why they're doing it. If you actually recognize people's humanity, it makes your argument that much stronger.
Yeah, and because I'm always listening and learning on the text line, this is, on the border thing, great text. You know who else isn't coming across our border? Tourists. So that those two things are related. So this stuff seems easy. None of it's easy. Every decision has a reaction, has other consequences you may not even thought about. And I can tell you, having been in Las Vegas recently, they are feeling the lack of international tourists coming to what is a great place in our country. So there's always that side of it. Let's take an early break.
Let's take a break
and refresh.
Because I think when we're going to come back, we're going to talk about something we probably agree on, which is AI relationships.
We ran the numbers and determined the overseas furniture makers are paying an extra 38% to package and ship their iffy furniture to the Midwest.
They're not paying it. The customer is.
That means of the $1,000 spent on a piece of iffy imported furniture, $380 of those dollars are paying for nothing that makes the product better.
But 82% of the furniture sold at Penny Mustard is made within 300 miles of us.
Swaddled in a comfy blankie and hand-delivered right here in the Midwest.
So we're able to invest that extra $380 into higher quality materials and craftsmanship.
The result is solid, sturdy, American-made furniture that lasts for generations.
Try doing that with the iffy-made furniture they make overseas.
So when you're buying new furniture, would you rather pay for low-quality, global shipping and dumpsters full of packaging?
Or would you rather spend that money on long-lasting, locally crafted furnishings?
When you shop at Penny Mustard, it adds up.
PennyMustard.com.
Fleet Farm is the place to fuel up, earn rewards, and save every day. Fleet Rewards credit card holders can earn 5% back in rewards on qualifying purchases made with a Fleet Rewards credit card, including 5% back on fuel at our Fleet Farm gas marts. While you're there, fill up on a hot dog, popcorn, and 20-ounce drink, all for just $1.99 at participating locations. Stop in and start earning more with Fleet Rewards at Fleet Farm. Subject to credit approval. See a team member for details.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 19th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 19th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Tell me why can't this be love?
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen. He is Steve. So, are you starting to play around with ChatGPT yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go. I'm going to actually subscribe to some service at some point in the near future because I want to play around.
All without, okay.
Yeah, play around.
So, since you're more recent to it, you maybe didn't notice the difference between GPT-5 and GPT-4.
Yeah, there are differences.
There are differences. So OpenAI released its latest model, which is obviously 5. And most of the reviews were basically that it was underwhelming and that you couldn't really tell that much of a difference. One group was up in arms about the upgrade. And this was a group of people who are in romantic relationships with AI creations. So this is from Morning. We both read this in Morning Brew this morning. So these people have created kind of a sticky situation for companies building AI products. Because on the one hand, companies want to develop attachments to their products, but not that kind of attachment.
Well,
because on the other hand, experts are warning that users are developing potentially dangerous relationships with chatbots.
Well, they're designing it. I didn't know this until I read this story. They're actually designing them to flirt with people.
So some of them.
Yeah. Elon Musk can actually have like dirty talk, his platform, XAI. That's like a whole nother level of creepy.
Well, and there's entire subreddits called My Boyfriend is AI, AI Soulmates, and it exploded after this update of people grieving the death of their virtual partners.
What was the movie? We always talk about this. Is it She?
Her.
Her. That's what it was. Her, yeah.
She, her.
Yeah. It's like, anyone surprised this is happening? There's so many lonely people out there. I'm not surprised.
I know. And it's just, I feel like we did a podcast about this. I think one of our You Need to Listens was about this because a couple months ago, Mark Zuckerberg went on a podcast talking about this. He's like, oh, the average person, you need 12 close friends. And the average person doesn't have 12 close friends. And so he thinks instead of encouraging people to go out and meet more people, was to create, fill that gap with AI friends.
Well, if you're talking about Meta, Zuckerberg, they can actually engage in sensual conversations.
Which I guess I don't know, because I guess to a certain extent, what is the difference between that and phone sex.
Probably, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's still an actual person on the other line. And this is more, it's free. It's free unless you're doing the paid subscription, but it's ongoing. It's not like you're paying $5 a minute or whatever those services are. But it just feels like it's so, I am a huge believer that so many of the ills in our society right now is because we're isolating ourselves from other people. And it's creating the lack of social etiquette, the understanding of how to actually deal with other people and be in community together. And the more convenient it is to just be alone isn't actually good for us in the long term.
Here's where I wish we had, matter of fact, if my friend Dennis, who's a psychiatrist, is listening, is it helpful to have a chatbot girlfriend or close friend and engaging in this sort of more intimate conversation, or is that more dangerous? So if Dennis is listening, or any professional psychiatrist,
Dennis, if you'd like to call in.
Yeah, if you'd like to call in, Dennis, we'd love to have you on the show. And he'd love to come on the show, actually, knowing Dennis.
Does he want to psychoanalyze you?
He does, but I don't think we'd do that on the air because I'm sure he has thoughts. But I don't know enough about that sort of head state. That is it positive or negative? I don't know.
Well, it's negative when they can just kill it off like that. But I also just don't think, because it goes back to the convenience factor. Because you've been married for how many years?
40 this September.
And so some of the growth, both for you individually, for your relationship, comes through conflict, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? As far as it, and sometimes conflict is always hard. But as far as in our friendships, in our family, in our romantic relationships, conflict happens because you have two humans with different desires, wanting different outcomes, and trying to negotiate how to get to a better place together. A chatbot, I would assume, is based off of you only, right? So like there is no challenge to your assumptions, your neuroses. Like it is just there, like I say, for the convenience of you, which is not how real relationships work. So maybe it makes you a little less lonely, but it is not. Unless we're just moving to a world where none of us have to rely on each other, but I don't want to live in that world.
Yeah, no, and I've talked as recently as yesterday that the lack of that face-to-face is not a good thing. And
even texting, right? We talk about this as far as my friend who had a manager who was like, in any work situation where it takes more than 3 interactions on like a Slack or a GChat or like any of the teams or anything like that, just pick up the phone. And it should be the same rule for texting with your friends or your partner. If there's a miscommunication happening when you're texting, just pick up the phone.
Yeah, that's what it's made for, actually. It was made for. Now it's not used that way. It's like 10% of the people use their phones as phones. I mean, why don't you just turn that feature off if you're not going to use it that way, right?
I don't think you can text if you don't have a
Is that what it is?
Number.
I seem like with all the things they could find a workaround, then you would never get a spam phone call.
Oh.
That's how my brain's working today. My brain is sharp today. Because I was forced to think outside the box. That's what I'm saying to you.
Good.
I'm fascinated, but we have to explore this. I want to get a psychiatrist on the show. I want to know if all of this stuff, this sort of development of this AI world that's artificial, fake, not real. And I will tell you, having done a lot of reading on this lately, as much as you think it's just sort of a one-on-one, much of what a chatbot does is based on templates created by real people they put themselves in these scenarios. They hire people to actually create conversations, and then AI can pick from all of this stuff, this massive amount of data that they've created through these artificial conversations with real people, and they pull from that to create these real conversations between a human and a non-human. It's amazing stuff. Isn't that crazy?
It's kind of terrifying.
Just meet a girl. Like, is that or a boy? Just do that. Just a boy meeting a girl. What was the movie?
When Harry Met Sally?
No, Hugh Grant's, Julia Roberts.
Oh, Notting Hill.
She was talking to him in his little bookshop.
Yeah.
Just a girl who loves a boy or
Fell
whatever.
in love with a boy?
Yeah. Isn't that?
I don't know,
Can we get
something
back
like
to that? I'm a big Julia Roberts fan, by the way.
You and many others.
Yeah. But I think she's got it together. Not every actress does, but she's got it together.
Okay.
I don't know why I felt the need to say that
I don't
today.
know why either.
Yeah. Like I said, I am churning today.
How many cups of coffee do you have?
Just 2. Just 2. It's the fresh air. We have literally been on the road for 2 weeks, almost.
Kind of.
Remote-y. Yeah.
All right. We're taking a break. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano from Wisconsin's Morning News. It's baseball season, which means Brewers 360 is back every day at 8:40. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Every day, all season long, we're joined exclusively by Brewers guests, including manager Pat Murphy and more. So Murphy, as we're wrapping up our interview.
Great talking. We really enjoyed it, okay?
I was like, you did? Is he just in a good mood, or what'd y'all do to Murph?
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve. We just took off with the guys, Jeff and Jake from Loyal Family and their team yesterday at our WTMJ Golf Classic. All right, so Loyal Family Renovations. I actually hired them. They saved the day for me. We had a bad storm in Oak Creek last May. Hail damage, a lot of it. Yes, it was bad. Jeff, Jake, his whole team, his crew, came to my house, answered all the questions. Absolute pros. The roof looks amazing. They worked with my insurance company. That's a great thing, just on its face value. Got me the most value, clearly. Handled all the questions between Kathy and I, Jeff and Jake, our insurance company, and our adjuster, not face-to-face, but all together, all of us, and then on the phone with our adjuster. Quick answers, top-notch customer service. All that accomplished in 2 days, by the way. My roof was done, which I had sort of a hodgepodge because I had several additions to my house. Each roof was a different age. They made that all go away. Brand new roof, fully warranted. They even had a tool to pick up all the loose nails that somehow dropped off the roof. I was so impressed, I told everybody about it. I'm telling you about it if a storm damage hits you, and we had a lot of that lately. Call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
We got spirit, yes we do. We got spirit, how about you?
Hi, I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Downtown Employee Appreciation Week is back August 18th through the 22nd with daily giveaways, office challenge games, and much more. It's all designed to boost your team's spirits. Learn how your company can participate at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Hey, it's Jeff Sherman, host of The Upswing. Working downtown doesn't just mean being at the center of business. It means you're a part of Milwaukee's heartbeat. There are so many perks, whether it's grabbing a quick bite, catching a show after work, or connecting with people who care and share the passion for the city. And Downtown Employee Appreciation Week, August 18th through 22nd, is when it all comes alive in a special way. If you want to discover more on how you can live, work, and play right here in the heart of it all, check out MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Get a clear picture of their eye health at Shopko Optical with back-to-school comprehensive eye exams. Vince Vitrano here for the experienced team at Shopko Optical, which can put your child at ease by encouraging them through the process and explaining their findings in a comfortable and relaxed environment. Feel confident that you're sending them back to class looking and feeling their best with personalized care and premium eyewear from Shopko Optical. Visit shopko.com to schedule an appointment today.
I'm going to start it?
I guess.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Point Taken. All right, so we are
hours away.
Hours away from the Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska. I did like this since we both love Morning Brew so much. Do you want to hear some Alaska facts?
Sure.
So it's huge. So the municipality of Anchorage, which is a city, is 1,961 square miles, which is bigger than the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah, which is a small state, but we get the point.
But it's the fact that the city is as big as a state is funny.
Yeah.
So further north than Oslo, it's further north than Oslo, Stockholm, and St. Petersburg, Russia. Anchorage can get 22 hours of daylight in peak summer. And in 2012, Outdoors Loving Anchorage was named the worst dressed city in the U.S. in a travel and leisure magazine survey. But that was before Carhartt was cool.
Yeah, which is cool. Very cool.
Very cool now.
Yeah. And they make good stuff.
So you wanted to make a point as far as, have we moved on as the average American from caring about this war.
Yeah, I mean, you can answer the question on the text line if you want, 855-616-1620. The question would be, how much do you care about what happens between Ukraine and Russia? I actually care, but I think most of our country, most of our citizens, most of our people have moved on from this. It's unfortunate because it's critical. Look, I played the role of MAGA, Steve, but here's what I'll tell you about this. This is very concerning for a lot of different perspectives. One, a country that sort of decides to take other countries' territory militarily, kill people, abduct children, which is the reality on the ground in Ukraine, that so many of their children are missing or have been readopted, and I'm putting that in air quotes because it's not a healthy situation, by Russian families. That's never a good thing. This is dangerous. And what the president is doing, I'll give him a slight nod for actually having the conversation. I will always encourage that. But this is very dangerous with a leader like Vladimir Putin, who is extremely dangerous, somebody who's worked in the worst elements of Russian society. Before that, the USSR culture. He's a dangerous man. He's not afraid to kill people. We know that because he or his cohorts have thrown many of his enemies out windows.
Or poison them.
The dissident, whose name escapes me right now. But those are the storylines of Russia. So we should be very careful. Now, if the president can actually get Vladimir Putin, and this is a big maybe, to say, will you meet with myself, President Trump, yourself, Putin, and Vladimir Zelensky representing Ukraine, that would be, I think, a positive from this meeting. That would be a good first step. This is not an easy debate. If it becomes theatrical or stupid or more nonsense, which is sometimes what you get from these sort of high-level meetings with
wall-to-wall coverage on every cable news outlet.
And I'm upset by the fact because it sounds like there'll be a one-on-one with no ability to see what that conversation is, which I think is dangerous between two very important men. So I hold out some hope, but not a lot of hope. But if you want to answer that question, love to just see where the audience is. 1 to 10, scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about what happens?
10 being the highest, that you 10, care, this is the most important thing that we need to solve.
Yeah, how much you care about this ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia and the coverage of it?
Because I think that's the thing. There's a lot to care about right now.
Sure.
There is Ukraine and Russia. There is Palestine and Israel. There is all the stuff that's happening in our own country. There is flooding in Wisconsin. There is the pending, looming, big, beautiful bill that's going to take away people's health care and, change tax cuts and all of this different stuff. And so on any given day, if you're paying attention to the news, there seems like there's a lot to care about. And there's only so much capacity I think anyone has. And sometimes it probably depends on your proximity to, if you have family in the region, if your proximity to what personal relationships you have to it.
Yeah.
But I think to say you don't care is different than it being higher on your list right now.
It's diverted from your attention. Two big ones that we can talk about, one negative, one positive. Flooding, extreme flooding, all the impact on that, and then the Brewers on the other side. So that's a lot of attention just there with those two things.
Regionally, yeah.
Yeah, and for those of us affected by it, that's a big deal. All right, got local news with Connie Weber. Before we get to any of that, here's now the latest from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Today's sit-down between President Trump and Russia's leader now just hours away. The push for a ceasefire in Ukraine coming as Russia launched fresh attacks.
On Air Force One en route to Anchorage, President Trump told reporters that Russian drone and missile strikes on the eve of the meeting don't strengthen Putin's position.
In his mind, that helps him make a better deal. It actually hurts him.
Trump says land swaps will come up.
They'll be discussed, but I've got to let Ukraine make that decision.
He has said his sole aim is to set the table for a summit that would include Volodymyr Zelensky.
I'm not doing this for my health, okay? I don't need it. I'd like to focus on our country, but I'm doing this to save a lot of lives.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Aaron has now been upgraded to a Category 1 hurricane and churning in the Atlantic near Caribbean islands and expected to push up off along the U.S. East Coast this weekend. The threat of riptides is the main concern. Stocks are trading lower today as investors weigh mixed economic data. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. City of Milwaukee Health Department extending the closures of Bradford and McKinley beaches. Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District reports 90 to 95% groundwater and rainwater was mixed with untreated wastewater. Both beaches will reopen Sunday, depending on weather and acceptable water quality test results. City of Madison's clerk's office will implement several changes following an investigation into nearly 200 uncounted absentee ballots during the 2024 November November general election. Changes ordered by the Wisconsin Elections Commission concern the printing of poll books, absentee ballot handling, and training practices. The commission voted last month to accept the findings of the investigation into the uncounted ballots. Acting Clerk Michael Haas must certify compliance with the order in writing no later than January 1st. Wisconsin State Patrol's annual Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign begins today. The effort includes increased traffic enforcement on Wisconsin highways as troopers watch for signs of impaired driving leading into Labor Day weekend. The campaign runs through September 1st. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 109 points, 45,020. The Nasdaq is down 110, 21,599. S&P 500 down 18 at 6,450. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still pretty quiet on the freeway system. A little bit of slowing. I-43 north, the Zoo interchange to Highway Q, and 43 southbound, Brown Deer Road to downtown. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warning still in effect for Waukesha County through tomorrow. A flood watch for Kenosha County until Monday. Today, sunny and warm with a high of 85 and a chance for showers and storms rolling in tonight with a low of 72. That chance for storms is going to continue through the weekend and into the week next week. Partly cloudy, warm and humid tomorrow. Chance for storms, a high of 88. Sunday's high 83. Then Monday and Tuesday, a chance for showers and storms. Monday's high 81. Tuesday, 78. 79 in Madison, 78 in Green Bay, and in Milwaukee, 79 degrees. I'm Connie Weber, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Classic feeling. Your home is failing. Windows are old, roof looks horrible, siding is distressed. Even your front door fights you on everything. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I will be on the Fix It Show this Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. 1 hour where you get to call in and ask about your failing home and how the professionals at Siding Unlimited can help you. Can't wait until Saturday? Bring your pictures to our Siding Unlimited showroom and let's chat. Start your home updating journey with Siding Unlimited at sidingunlimited.com.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
God does not always call the most gifted to serve him. His heroes have flaws big enough to spoil the whole business.
All this month, the Lutheran Hour is revisiting past messages from former speakers. This week, Dr. Oswald Hoffman tells the story of Moses, God's stuttering man of destiny. And we'll hear insights from Dr. Michael Ziegler and his guest, Professor Ryan Tinetti. That's this week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Hey, Ripon, big news! Tyson's is opening this fall. Shop trusted brand names for home, farm, auto, pet, tools, and home improvement all in one place. And count on personal customer first service every time you walk in. Check us out at Tysons.com.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Cardboard are you buying these days?
I'm not buying a lot of cardboard. Here's the inside baseball for this graffiti household. My wife likes to order things at Amazon. She's a great shopper. She saves us money, she tells me. But I always have available boxes because one thing about Amazon, it's easy to deconstruct those boxes, flatten them, and then just keep them of all sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So I always
you have them on hold. You just have them in stock.
Yeah. But
so when you need them,
I have them.
You know what we do in our house ever since, because when you have a baby, you have baby showers, you get lots of bags, like baby bags and gift bags and stuff.
Yeah.
I've saved all of those gift bags.
Yeah, because they're...
And literally now I'm never without some kind of wrapping that I need to put a gift in.
Yeah, we do that too.
Yeah, so it's great. Kind of the same thing. If you have the room to hold on to cardboard boxes.
Yeah,
great.
So that's personal consumption.
But the business consumption of cardboard apparently is down. So
Lowest in 10 years.
Yeah, so shipments of cardboard, the kind that's used to make boxes, fell to their lowest Q2 levels since 2015. This is for last quarter. This is according to the Fiber Box Association. So why is that a big deal? So I guess I didn't know this until today. Economists use the demand for cardboard boxes as a non-traditional recession indicator. That's been a popular word this year.
Yeah.
It's like it's become its own meme as far as so-and-so, this and that is a recession indicator.
It's one of those outlines. So we always focus on jobs and the number of
lipstick sales.
Yeah, but this is one that I think sort of makes sense. And as we talk to economists on the show, we talk to import-exports experts, this is one of those things that could indicate that there's something going on there. We know that many manufacturers sort of beefed up in the first quarter, then sort of slowed down in the second quarter. They had enough stuff. And part of having enough stuff is they may not need more cardboard. Now, long term, if this maintains this, because, who's a big maker of cardboard boxes? Uline. Huge. All that stuff, all those supplies, shipping supplies, and more. So that's a big piece of this story. We're not going to know. I've said this over and over again to people who have asked me about this, either on the show or away. We're not going to know all of the impacts of tariffs and whatever's going on, churning in our economy, with the value of the dollar, which has declined, for probably another quarter or so. Then
That's true.
We'll have a good indication.
So you poo-pooed. This is the generational difference between us. So there's certain overlap, I feel like, where you and I both get news.
Right.
And then I get a fair amount of my ideas or news from social media, which is less where you get yours.
Right.
And you kind of discount people who are experts, but just happen to use their expertise and put it on a social media video. If you have a distrust for social media videos that I send you that have information in them.
It's hard to validate, harder to fact check. It's
not harder to fact check. It's just you have to fact check in the same way that you would fact check an article.
No, if I'm reading a published article in a real publication, I'm already at the source. If I'm reading it through social media, that's a layer that didn't exist previously.
They're like summarizing the study, though.
Sometimes.
So you're trusting that they're summarizing the study accurately when you're reading the article.
If it's a publication that I trust, yes.
I'm setting this up to say that I sent you a video of a finance expert who was trying to explain.
Is that the woman?
Yes.
Yes.
So he was trying to explain, and I'm going to ask Bono this on Monday, of the difference between how the stock market can be doing so well and yet other parts of the economy don't feel stable. And she was saying for the S&P 500, it's basically the 10 biggest companies who are doing really well, who are definitely leveraging the boom of AI is different, and who their customers are is different than where the economy actually is, and even where the different companies that are publicly shared companies or publicly traded companies. And so I'm excited to ask him about that as far as these things, like what are the indicators that we should be looking at? Because everyone who's invested in the stock market, especially if you're invested in like the S&P 500, is great, but that isn't necessarily having like job security and unemployment rates and wage increases, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you poo-pooed the video, but I felt like it was interesting for her to be pointing out the fact that how the S&P 500 is measured is, it's 500 companies,
right,
which isn't necessarily a huge snapshot of the economy.
You can, and she obviously knew what she was talking about because she's someone probably was pretty involved in the subject matter of what she was referencing in her video. What I caution people in doing is there's no one way of assessing anything, and I think the point I made to you in our text chain was this has always been a sort of the leaders of industry overrepresented in either the strength or the decline of our economy. It's always been the case, whether you go back to railroad lumber days or to now with all tech. It's just the reality of the world we live in and the culture that we currently celebrate when it comes to industry and manufacturing and commerce. Where I do agree with her is that there are always going to be other ways to look at things. I sort of have shifted
like cardboard.
Like cardboard. That's why we're talking about it. So I think there's always a chance, and this is why I love doing this show, especially this topic, because we have to be vigilant of both that stuff and personal pain when it comes to the economy, or even in this case, a little segment that maybe is under the radar, but we're talking about it because it could be an indication of something to come. So I don't poo-poo her. She has every right to do what she did. She obviously knows what she's talking about. It's just one piece of a larger puzzle. Again, I'm not a huge fan of social media. I'd rather trust the source. I don't know if is she a published writer or is it just...
No, she's a finance expert. She works in finance.
Yeah. So obviously more experience in that industry than I am. So I respect her opinion, and I agree that it's part of the conversation.
All right.
All right.
Should we have some fun after this?
Yes, let's have fun.
Let's talk about more Brewers stuff in a way that you can both support the Brewers, the power of friendship, and flood victims in and around Milwaukee.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi from Milwaukee Weight Loss. Just talked about somebody yesterday. Friend of my wife's, she contacted Milwaukee Weight Loss. Get this, lost 45 pounds. Almost the same story as mine. Someone I knew. I don't know most of the people who listen to this me talking about my own personal story, but here's what I can tell you. It works for a lot of different people. Thousands of people lose 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks. It's real. It's natural. None of the trendy stuff, none of the weight loss shots, none of the other gimmicky stuff, meals, bars, shakes. You can do that if you want to, but this is a real way, using your willpower, using a proven way to lose weight. 20, 30 pounds your goal. Maybe you have a class reunion. Maybe you have a trip you're looking forward to. Maybe a wedding, big events. Here's a way to get yourself in great shape in a short amount of time with some hard work. You don't have to do the yo-yo stuff. You don't have to give in to all the other gimmicky stuff. Smarter, faster, safer. You can reach your goals. And you know what? They have great coaches at Milwaukee Weight Loss. That's an underreported fact about that company. Great coaching available when you need it. They can walk you through all the issues. That's why. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com, 262-393-2334, MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
It's there all day, and it never goes away. I hate pain. It robs us of so much. But if you take action today, your pain could be gone tomorrow. Because at Rejuvenex, we harness the power of Toradol and hyaluronic acid to calm the inflammation and cushion joints. Rejuvenex treatments are safe, they're FDA approved, and in most cases, insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pays for them. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, our treatments are affordable. It's not a gimmick. It's pharmacological medicine administered in office in a simple and convenient manner. And with it, our patients have been able to avoid risky surgery and begin to stop the onset of arthritis. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and here we've made pain treatment as easy and affordable as it can be. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
We see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like $20 off 3M WorkTunes hearing protection, $74.99. Assorted Milwaukee brand hand trucks, your choice, only $99.99. And select Shepherd wheels, casters, and floor protection, 15% off. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Looking for an e-bike? Shop Wheel and Sprocket and find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride.
Visit wheelandsprocket.com for a location near you.
Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
That's some weird dancing. That's almost like Elaine Bennis on Seinfeld.
I got to do that with her last year.
I've seen the video many times.
She wouldn't do it with me.
No.
But I did try to do my best Elaine in front of Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
It would be hard for anybody to emulate what you were doing in the video or what you were just doing right there. So, but
if you would like to see it, you can go rewind the live stream on YouTube. Just text WATCH to 855-616-1620.
Is that how you dance at a wedding too? Is it like
I don't know.
All those
Usually,
arm movements and
I have a lot of limbs. I don't know if you know about this.
You're
about
very
me.
lanky.
I'm very lanky.
Yeah, what's your wingspan?
It's longer than my height.
Which is
you know
unusual.
how it's supposed to be your wingspan is the same as your height.
Long.
I am a rectangle, but like a long rectangle instead of a little baby arms.
All right.
Anyway, we're talking Brewers.
Story.
So multiple Brewer announcements right now. First, A very kind texter has reminded us many times that we would like to remind you where you can watch the game tonight. So you have to have Apple TV, Fubo, or MLB TV. I hate these games.
Yeah.
I hate when you have to pay for another thing to be able to actually watch your home. So do we, but I'm just saying, like, remember, when was it that Peacock was like, oh, you have to have Peacock to be able to watch for a football game?
Yeah.
It's just like making it harder for people to support their teams is always annoying to me. But that's not what this topic is about. So obviously, we are very happy about the George Webb's burgers coming. Very happy about potentially the 13th win coming today. But I heard this, I read this morning. So the power of friendship. We talk about this a lot. Our friendship.
Important.
Very important. Maybe the foundation of this show.
Absolutely.
But it is also one of the, is moniker the word that I want? Of this year's Brewers team? Because
mantra.
Mantra?
Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with mantra. Trevor McGill, the closer, keeps saying the power of friendship. So apparently he was on the Pat McAfee show recently, and he was wearing a shirt that said the power of friendship, man. Or it said the power of friendship. And not only can you get this shirt, but there is also a added benefit to getting this shirt. Do we have the sound?
Fun team, bro.
Yeah.
Fun team. You're fun. You're an entertaining
Power of friendship, man.
That is power. Hey, put her there, pal.
Absolutely. Right here. I got the shirts, man. These things are dropping. I think this week you can get them on athleteslogo.com. 15% of them are going to go to the flood victims out here in Milwaukee.
So, with that, if you buy one of these shirts, there's actually a lot of shirts on this site. So if you text friendship to 855-616-1620, that's friendship to 855-616-1620, we will send you the link to athletelogos.com, specifically right to the Milwaukee link, because there is a variety of the Power of Friendship shirts. There is also a pocket pancake shirt, which is great.
One of our teammates has it.
There is a beer and burgers and pancakes and friendship and magic shirt, which is maybe the one I'm going to get. But I think all of these, 15% of the proceeds are going to go to flood victims in Milwaukee. So you're both getting a fun shirt or fun merch and helping people out around this area.
Yeah, and I first of all, I love this. Again, another example of like stretching out and embracing people that need a little help. And as I was tooling around town yesterday, we were out at 76 and Ross in that area, right by George Webb's, the one that our friend Rick Essenberg owns. I saw more examples of the front yard disaster zone, right, where everything in their basement is now in their front yard. So it's not like in one; it's all over.
It's all over.
And with threats of we don't talk about weather much on the show, but there's some threats this weekend. We could have some more of that, revisiting some of that flooding. So if you can help someone out in any way, whether it's this T-shirt, easy to do, friendship, go on, get one of those, whatever
Text
style
friendship,
you like.
855-616-1620.
Or other great examples. Just do something, as much as it's sort of a cliche, and it's unfortunate that it is, just do something nice for somebody.
Well, and I think there's something, and maybe we can dive into this more next week, as far as the psychology behind, because we touched on this yesterday, and I did not mean to equate what's happened in Milwaukee to the floods in Texas. There was a lot more loss of life in Texas.
We understand.
But I also think, are people not kind of cognitively thinking about this as big of a disaster because there wasn't a loss of life? Because some people are just absolutely ruined right now because of the lack of flood insurance
You
for
talked
so many
about
people.
someone in West Dallas.
I think it was TMJ4. My husband sent me this morning as far as a story of a woman who the flooding was so bad in her house that the foundation of her house, she has to move. Like, there is no fixing her house. The insurance will not cover it. And the only thing she was able to save from her house is the urn of her dead son.
I mean,
so there are people who are ruined by this. There are businesses that are ruined by this. And so the ability for us to step up and still consider this a disaster for so many people in our community is really important, even if it doesn't seem to rise to the level of other disasters we've seen this year on TV.
And I love the fact that as I'm looking at the text line, I'm just watching the churn with the word friendship on there. It's not friends, so don't text friends. Friendship, FRIENDSHIP, and help somebody out. Get yourself a cool shirt. Supports, be part of the community, because Kristen and I talk about this a lot. This is a great place to live on a great lake, and we need to stress that a lot more often.
And also the final reminder, if you're going and getting your voucher today for a burger, when you go get that burger, maybe buy a drink.
Yes, and here's the cool thing. On the new So I was asking, is there a difference between the 2018 one and this one? I believe they added a line that says I think it's $3. I don't have it in front of me. For $3 or something like that, you can add a burger or fries and a drink or something like that. So by all means, spend some money there.
Yeah.
Don't just
tip
go
your server.
Like I will go and I will buy something besides getting my voucher because I think that's good for business. And again,
the estimate is about $800,000 worth of free product that they're going to be giving away.
And another great example, I know businesses get beat up nowadays for like not looking out for customers. This is a company and restaurant chain who looks out for their customers and they honor their commitment, which is so, so cool. Obviously a great story in the midst of some stories that aren't so great. We'll wrap it up on Point Taken with Kristen and Steve after this.
Imagine that unbelievable new deck in your backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck builder. Building new decks and replacing old ones, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax in your own backyard. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
This Saturday only from the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. Enjoy 2 salmon, scallop, and shrimp dinners for just $54.99. That's incredible. 2 dinners. Call and reserve your free dinner today. Desserts are also buy one, get one free. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
Well, you used to be known as the Big Red Machine. To use that name now would just be obscene. It's the Brewers and the Reds in Cincinnati.
And a fly ball to right. This is hit well. Back is Reynolds. Track gone. Sal Frelick goes big fly for the 9th time this year.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, well, we almost got to get out of here, but if you would like to get a Power of Friendship t-shirt from athletelogos.com, 15% of it will go to flood victims in Wisconsin. Text FRIENDSHIP to 855-616-1620.
And what I love is I'm watching the text line, and the only text is the word friendship over and over.
We got like 50 plus right now.
Keep it going. Great cause. Great time to help your neighbor. I know it's, again, it can be a cliche, but it's not. A lot of people need your help. This is one way of many ways to do it. Be nice to your neighbor. Have a great weekend.
You have a great weekend.
I'm going up to your old stomping grounds, Wisconsin Rapids.
You going to say hi to my parents?
If I see them, I'm going to be out and about, so you never know.
Go say hi to them at their new house.
Pete and Debbie?
Pete and Debbie.
All right. Look out for me, Pete and Debbie. Have fun this weekend. Be nice to your neighbors. We'll do it again Monday with Matt Smith.
This
Ciao.
is next.
It's one of the hottest topics when it comes